YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here. It's been pretty slim out there lately, I'm telling you guys. Just sort of like one or two things a day kind of thing going on. Not a whole lot to bring home and a lot of hunting going on. So if you ever think and you're not actually a person that gets out there and does these things that I'm doing, you actually think it comes easy, it's not as easy as it seems sometimes. So I've got a pretty decent haul though from those few days, but like I was saying, it was just sort of like one day I'd get something and then the next day I'd find something else and so on and so forth, and that's basically the way it works. It used to be a lot more plentiful out there, but you know, the sharks are getting out there and it's getting a little bit more difficult. So I'll get started on this. I can't even actually remember what order all this stuff came in on, so I'll just jump right into it. The first thing I wanted to show you here is a copy of Glover for the PlayStation. This is something that I had some interest in. It looks basically like a Mario 64-esque kind of, you know, primitive 3D roaming type of platformer, so pretty cool there. You can see there I paid $5 for that, which is basically what it goes for, but the only other time I've ever seen this game, it was on the N64, and it was at a pawn shop. People wanted like $10 for it, so I figured I'd be able to pick that up for $5, and I'm pretty happy with that because I do have some interest in this game. I've never played it before, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Just a little bit scratched up. It's not perfect or anything like that, but still should play, and that'll get me going for now. So that's pretty cool right there. Pick up Glover. Also from a Goodwill, I picked up a game which is kind of funny actually. I went into the Goodwill and there was nothing there, and then I saw a cart that they had and it was sort of sitting in the back, and I didn't really think much of it because I could see a few like DVDs and stuff like that, and usually if they have games they kind of stack them, they don't really chuck them in the bins. I just at that particular location, so I didn't really think much about it. Went out, checked out my other stores in the area, and then on my way back through to go up to other shops, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to check and just see. I thought it might be a waste of time, but it turned out it was okay. I picked up Tomb Raider Chronicles, which is the last of the PlayStation Tomb Raider games that I needed to pick up, so that's super awesome right there. This case is really cracked up though, but the artwork and everything like that, it's beautiful. There it is, there, it's totally complete. And the disc on it is like really mint. So for the $2 I paid for that, I thought that was a pretty killer deal. Moving on, let's see here. Went into the Value Village the same day as that, and I don't know why I necessarily jumped on this. I don't know if it's worth it. You guys can tell me, but I'm always looking for these, so I decided to pick it up. It's a N64 or Super Nintendo or you know, that kind of connector right there, so one of the wires for it. For it I paid $3. I think it's a bit pricey for what I got here, but in the bag as well, kind of weird, but in the bag as well there's a Ethernet cable, so I don't know like what I'm gonna do with that, but this is what I was really after, the cord there. So it looks in great shape and everything like that, and when you're trying to sell systems, these are completely invaluable kind of thing. You have to have one. And right there it has the Nintendo logo, so it is like an official one as well, so that's pretty awesome right there, because I'm always on the lookout for these to put with systems, so pretty awesome all around. Moving on, let's see here, stopped at the Goodwill again, same place that I picked up the Chronicles game, but this was on a different occasion when I went through. Now it was half price on yellow tags, so basically all that's left usually at that point, because things have been sitting there for the whole week kind of thing, at least for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. I don't even know how long the colors come around. Actually, it could be like a month before things actually go on sale, so there isn't usually a whole lot left, but I did pick up one title, basically just for one title on it, because it's a compilation disc. So what it is it's Xbox Live Arcade compilation disc. I'm really hoping that you don't have to use this online. I'm pretty sure that you don't have to, so it just has like 5 of the different games that are you know, online type of deal. There's one called Boom Boom Rocket, and I'm trying to remember if I've played that before. I'm not totally certain I have, but one that I was looking for was Pac-Man Championship Edition. So that's on this disc here, and for $2 I figured that's definitely worth it. Add that to the 360 collection because I didn't have it already, so really wicked right there. that Pac-Man Championship Edition just looks really awesome, and I've seen some video on it before, so definitely gonna have to check that out. And for sure worth the $2 that I had to spend on that, so really wicked deal. The other day walked into Talese and I found another Game Boy game here. There was a bunch of different ones. They had like multiple copies of Tetris. There was Alleyway, which I already have, not really worth the prices that they're asking for them. There's a couple other titles in there, nothing really stellar, all really common stuff. There's a bunch of Game Gear games, and I just walked away from those because I am not collecting for the Game Gear anymore. So I wasn't even really looking at that. Unless I find something that's valuable, I might use it to trade, but they were all just like $2, $3 games kind of thing that were sitting there. But this one here, which is probably valued what I paid for it, but it's a really cool game actually. It's called Atomic Punk. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you know about this game, some of you probably do, but this is actually the Game Boy version of Bomberman. I think this was the first edition of Bomberman for the Game Boy, but they decided to call it Atomic Punk. And for this one here, I paid $5, $4.99, but the label on it's like really good and everything like that. And you can see that he had a bomb in his hand, and I was like, what is that? And I actually bought it without knowing that fact. I actually did some research on this game after the fact and found out that yeah, this was one of the Bomberman games. So that's pretty cool right there. Definitely happy to add that into the collection. They had other titles there like Alleyway, and I don't know, there was a couple other ones, but this was the only one that really piqued my interest. At the same time, also in the same Talese, in that pile of games that they had there, because there was actually a fairly substantial pile of things there, which is kind of unusual, but I found a game that I had been looking for, and I'm actually also looking for the first version of this game, because this is the second the sequel to the game that I had back in the day, but it's Golden Sun: The Lost Age. That's this one right here. I'm actually looking for the original Golden Sun as well for the GBA. Pretty cool though for $5. Definitely worth it. I know it's at least double that, and I can play that on my Retron 5, which is really awesome because the Golden Sun games are pretty good now. To my knowledge, there's only Golden Sun, The Lost Age, and then there is one more Golden Sun game, and I don't remember the name of it, on the DS, and there's only 3 in the series, which is kind of interesting because I do recall playing this on the GBA back in the day, the original Golden Sun, and it was tons of fun. So I'm surprised they didn't really continue on with that series, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Today I walked into the Talese again, so it seems like that's the place that's sort of actually given me a few things lately. Now that I look back on it, a lot of this stuff really did come from Talese. And again, in their cartridge section, there were 2 games that I spotted. Now there was a whole pile today of loose DS games that were there, but they're all sort of junk titles for the most part, except for a couple that I think are definitely worth the $5 I paid for them. And the first one here is TMNT, which, you know, Turtles game's always fairly decent title. Now I don't know a whole lot about that DS one, but you know, it's probably pretty cool or something like that. I'll have to check it out for myself. But again, for $5 I was willing to take the risk. And then for another $5 I picked up a Kirby Superstar Ultra, which to my knowledge has like a number of different modes on it and things like that, mini games and Kirby-esque type levels and things like that that you can play. So that's pretty cool for $5 as well. Put that into my collection for sure. The last things I'll show you here actually came as a trade that I set up on a Facebook group. Now, the person who I did this trade with is actually a collector as well, and he's also the person who started up the Facebook group, which is kind of interesting because I didn't know that until I met him, and then he mentioned it to me in our conversation that he actually was the one that started up the group that we did the trade in, which is really awesome. I definitely like to meet like new people that I can do trades with and things like that. So really amazing. I don't know if he's watching this video. I did tell him about my channel in a text message kind of thing. So hopefully he comes to check it out. And if he does, thank you again, man, because it's really hard to find decent people around these days to do trades locally. Just everybody sort of looking to profiteer and stuff like that instead of you know, help each other out kind of thing. And this trade here helps me out quite a bit, so I'm pretty happy with that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'll go through the games that we traded for. So The first one here was A Boy and His Blob, which I already have in my collection, but I figured this would be some good trade fodder. I've had some of the NES games that I've got sort of backpiled, or whatever you'd like to call it, like my doubles and things like that. I've had them for quite some time. I've offered them up to a number of different people. I've had them posted on Kijiji for quite some time, and with like totally reasonable prices. I think like for most games it's just like $2 or $3 kind of deal. The ones that are in there, like there's mostly common titles in there, but no one's really done anything about it or whatever. So when I saw that he had a game that I didn't have a double of, and I might be able to move a little bit easier than some of the other ones, I decided to trade it out, sort of idea. So this is something that I'm going to have up for trade, but definitely a cool game, and it's in great shape. Just needs to be cleaned up or whatever, and then it's good to go. And he said he tested everything and it should all work, so that's pretty awesome. The next thing that I got from him, which is not something I was definitely on the lookout for, but didn't have it in my collection, so why not, I say, and that's Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular. A little bit of a tongue twister there for me, especially this time of night, so that's pretty cool right there though. Something, like I said, didn't have in my collection, so really wicked. I'm not trying to get a complete collection or anything like that. I mean, it'd be wicked if I could, but you know, if I see something and I don't have it and it's reasonable, then I'm gonna go for it. The next game here is a pretty awesome game, actually. I think it's also fairly underrated, or not a lot of people necessarily know about it, but it's definitely cool. I was checking out some gameplay of it. It's not too bad at all, so if you get the occasion, go check it out for yourself, and that is Dig Dug 2. Pretty cool, and like I was saying, I love to add new titles into my collection. This is a game I didn't know anything about until I saw his posting, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'll look it up, and I kind of checked it out, you know, on YouTube, see what it was all about. So if you haven't seen this game before, in this game you're actually like on an island. So if you know Dig Dug, you're sort of digging down. In this one, you're not digging down, like you're digging down, but it's sort of like a top-down view. And then what it is like you're on an island, and what happens is all the Figars and whatever the other things are called are chasing you around the island basically, and you're trying to corner off sections of the island and basically sink them into the water, or you can, you know, pump them up and explode them like you could in the original Dig Dug. But I think the optimal thing is to cut off part of the island that they're standing on and have it sink into the water. So pretty cool though. It's Trouble in Paradise, and you can kind of get the idea there, because you can see there's and I believe those ones are called Figars, is chasing him, and he's sort of like cutting into the ground and breaking off a chunk of the island. So that's a really cool title. If you haven't checked out some gameplay of it, go check it out tonight, or today, or whatever, whenever you're seeing this, and go check it out for sure. And the last one is actually a game that I was looking for at the Waterloo show, and I could not find it. It's not the one that was number one on my list for NES games, because the one that I was looking for is Destiny of an Emperor. Could not find that game for the life of me. Looked around the show multiple times and just did not spot it, but which makes me believe that it wasn't there, although the retro lectors, they claimed that they had seen it there. One of the gentlemen from Retro Lectors claimed that they had seen it there, went on the hunt for it, and couldn't track it down either. So I don't know, I don't think it was there, but you never know. I'm working on tracking that down for the future, because that's definitely a title I want to get in my collection. But this title here I was looking for as well, and it's pretty awesome to be able to find it. And it helps me complete part of my Tengen aspects of my NES collection, so it's pretty cool, and it's actually a good title. That good Tengen title, and it's Fantasy Zone. And this one is actually what I would consider sort of a hidden gem. I don't know if I want to call it that necessarily, because people that are well versed in NES would know about this game. But if you don't know about this game, it's pretty cool. It's what they refer to as a cute 'em up. And so you're in this like cute little spaceship, and everything's bright and colorful, but it's like a serious shoot 'em up. So you know, it's like quite challenging from what my understanding. And as you're going through, you're like blowing things up, and you collect coins, and you can use those coins to upgrade your ship and things like that, like your lasers or whatever you like to call it. And pretty cool game, that's for sure. I've heard it has a little bit of issue with slowdown and stuff like that, but still something I was on the lookout for. Pretty happy to get my hands on this copy of Fantasy Zone. I let the guy know that too. I said I looked for it at the show, could not find it, and was really pleased to be able to do a trade to get that. So that's everything that I have to show you today. Pretty happy with it, especially these NES games, that's for sure. Really love to collect for that system, to say the least, and looking forward to getting into this Golden Sun game for the most part, that's for sure. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.